Hello, today I'd like to talk about the second iteration of Crysis, Crysis Warhead. This standalone expansion features an 8 to 10 hour story mode based around the one and only Psycho and the events that took hold on the other side of the island while your old pal Nomad was getting it on inside the alien mothership. In Crysis Warhead, the backstory lies not in the gameplay itself, but rather in small, text-driven cutscenes that detail Psycho's motives throughout the game. These small breaks in gameplay add the depth and the backbone of a certain character who is so much more badass than Nomad, we don't even know why that noob even deserved a frickin' nanosuit in the first place. Compared to Nomad, this side character felt more like a person the first 10 minutes than that one-liner Nomad did in his entire game. Compared to Crysis, the story here is like comparing The Departed to a 1930s Godzilla flick. Now, as shown in the original Crysis, Psycho is one tough piece of fried chicken. No, I'm not a racist, but he may as well be, as he tears through the fortune cookies and Star Trek fans without shedding as much as a thought of remorse. However, Psycho has a much more passionate side, a side with morals and heroics. He's also got a knack for the funny, too, if you know what I mean. And of course you know what I mean. I mean, come on, look at the guy. He's British, of course. Come on, mate. That guy is just completely insane. And you know what? He cares for his fellow teammate, too. And you know how it goes. What goes around, comes around. The gameplay, however, has remained largely unchanged since the introduction it was given in 2007's epic first-person shooter, Crysis. The wide-open battlefields give you the same feeling of freedom while you are forced down a one-way road to your objectives. Sure, an optional objective here and there isn't much to brag about, and getting there isn't much trouble at all. But the way you just clubbed that Korean in the spinal cord was bloody hilarious, mate. Brute force isn't always the way to go, especially when you amp up the difficulty setting to that neck-breaking delta setting we all know and love. Stealth, however, is very reliable, as you crawl through the grass and bushes to slowly tear your enemy to pieces, or vice versa, e.g. you being blown up by a friendly frag grenade to the face. By holding down that lovely scroll button on your mouse, you can easily change from speed to strength to cloak and back again. Be careful though. With no shields or energy to protect you, your currently wonderful health is about as reliable as a styrofoam hammer on a head-breaking day. As you can see, the lush environments are still completely intact, and the wonderful graphics still are as immersive as ever. However, driving will become much more realistic. This time around, a small bush won't send you backflipping into a fiery death of raw explosives while screaming at your computer screen like the angry German kid. This time around, it's much more forgiving and fun to drive and switch seats as you tear through your fellow human being with a couple hundred minigun rounds. Just don't expect limbs to be dislodged. This is no Fallout 3 we're talking about. This is Crysis Warhead. Crysis, however, is a unique game. It's like mixing Battlefield, Far Cry, and a few other great games you might be able to relate to Warhead. However, when you're being shot at, you will die, like a chicken being slaughtered by a shotgun. However, not all is good. Even though this game is heavily improved upon in the performance department, it is still a graphics-intensive game that will cripple even the best of systems and affect heavy scenes and gameplay. While having a top-of-the-line graphics card and processor will help stabilize the frame rate, this game was meant to look good even 3 years from now when Crysis 2 and 3 are being released. Unlike most games in the console generation of now, Crysis is a PC exclusive, allowing developers to push the envelope in terms of graphics and AI beyond what most games have to offer. Too bad sometimes they just act as dumb as James Bond enemies. Take a look at these graphs. They show the average frame rates of some of the top-of-the-line graphics cards on high setting at a resolution of 1900 by 1200 with 16 times AF enabled. They show generally the same frame rates across the board in average, minimum, and maximum frame rates. AF, for all you who don't know what AF is, it's basically like focus on a camera that allows the game to draw out smaller details like cracks in the ground and granules of sand. The higher it is, the more effect it has on the frame rates. This has been your review of Crysis Warhead for the PC. I give it